Welcome to ACD Combatives. This is part of a series of BJJ for Cops presented to you by Coach Doug.
So the first thing we're going to cover is the rear naked choke. And this is more prevention because I'll be brutally honest with you. If someone gets us in deep and locked in, there's almost no escape from it. So where we don't want to get is there in the first place. All right. So we're going to talk about prevention. Right.
So the first thing to point out is that unless someone has trained jiu-jitsu, they're not going to go full technical rear naked choke. They'll do something more like palm to palm. Right? This is just a rear choke. Right? I can potentially choke from here, but I can also control and talk to the person I've got control over. We're going to do it from a kneeling position just because it's going to be easier to see the details. We're going to talk about this not so much as a step-by-step to get out of a full rear naked choke, but as a prevention. So one thing that I teach my students is to cross the hands here. Because what he needs to do is he needs to get around that neck, and I can block the hand as it comes over the shoulder. I don't know which side is coming over, right? So if he came from the other side, it doesn't matter which hand's on top, I'm going to block. I don't want to push, right? He comes over this arm. I don't want to push too far away because when he comes over with the other hand, this hand is out of play. So it's going to be a small movement, right, to get control of that hand. And I right away want to go 2-on-1. Once I got 2-on-1, even if he reaches over with that arm, he's not going to be able to choke me. And I can start doing all kinds of fun stuff to get out. But what I really want is I want that 2-on-1. I want to prevent the choke. Right? I want to get that 2-on-1. And 9 times out of 10, what I do is I get this arm over my head. Now there's no trick. I can disconnect. Right? I've avoided the choke, and that's so much more powerful and so much more efficient as a prevention rather than a defense.
Now, one thing I can say is if you're late, someone does this, right? But their hand is up here in their head, and you'll be able to feel it, right? If their hand up here, there is an escape from here. Right? It's basically the same thing. Right? So if you're late on the prevention, if someone gets here and they do this, then you do have a chance. It's when they bury their hand deep behind your neck, and they're like this. That's going to be very, very difficult. Or even if they're like this. Okay, still very difficult, right? If you're in a situation like this, the best advice I give is tuck your chin as tight as you can. Try to pin your chin to your chest, right? If you can get your chin under the arm and pin it to your chest, it'll hurt your jaw, possibly break your jaw, right? But you're not going to get choked. It's going to be very uncomfortable, right? But you're going to be able to survive. It's when they get under the chin is when you're in deep trouble, right? That's why we're talking about prevention first for this one, right? So how is this relevant? I mean, because I know you're always thinking about your weapons, right? And you're not going to be like this, but if you're involved in a scramble like that officer in that video last year where he got caught in a rear naked choke and he started calling for help. The second it got into a fight and his back was exposed and the suspect came around, right? That's when you should, right? When you'll feel it. When you feel this position and someone's starting to slide their hand across, that's when you need to get in that position of prevention, right? So remember, 2-on-1, you tuck your chin. That's for the rear naked choke. That is the most probably important steps you need to remember. Right? And survival, of course.
Something that we talk to our students about, it's very important, is anytime someone's behind you, to turn and face. Right? We're predators. All our vital organs are in front of our body. Right here, I have no access to his vital organs, his eyes, his arm, whatever. But he has access to all of mine. Right? So I want to turn and face. I'm gonna have much more success if I'm facing him in whatever area of the fight we're in. So the main idea is to turn and face. With that in mind, if he's behind me, I'm here right away. The choke we did before is great if you are stuck in this position. My goal is to turn and face. So as he starts coming over for the choke, at any point, if I can start to turn and face, there's no choke now, and I can initiate the fight in a much safer position. So, whenever possible, turn and face. We don't want to have our backs to the assailant.
But it's all about awareness, and sometimes things happen, and you're going to end up in that position. That's why you can turn and face, but if you're caught in a position where you can't, like say if someone gets tight and they're not allowing you because maybe they're blocking the hip a little, it's going to be harder. Then it's the 2-on-1, right? You're going to need to get this 2-on-1, tuck your chin, and if you can, get this arm over, and the choke is no longer there.
And even from here, my goal is still to turn and face.
So, very good. Rear naked choke, very, very, can be very deadly one. So, do what you can to not ever get in that position. It's all about awareness. You have to be aware of not only where you are, your firearm, and your tools, but also where your suspect is.